Welcome back to Fantasy 1.0. On episode 6, we're talking starting pitchers. 5 I like, 5 I don't.
Put your seatbelt on and yield for the apocalypse, yeah. It's the apocalypse, yeah.
Clayton Kershaw, 9th overall. These are the guys I don't like. I know it sounds kind of weird because he's the best pitcher in all of baseball. Why I don't like him? I don't not like him, but he's awesome. But he's not going to be on any of my teams. How about that? People reach for him. He's 9th overall, so he's going to the end of the first round. There's every year, at least the past couple of years, in 12-team leagues, somebody in my league always reaches for him, and he usually goes 3rd or 4th overall. I've even seen higher than that before. A lot of value. I mean, 1,500 innings. He has more impact on those 4 categories that he can contribute to than anybody else. He's a workhorse starting pitcher, but that's the problem. He's 30 years old. Like all pitchers when they're 30, he's got an injury history. I worry about how that's going to impact his value in the season. Remember, when you're drafting players, you're going for value based on their draft position. No matter what position or what categories they're contributing to, that's what you're looking for. And if he pitches 150 innings or a little bit less, or let's say they're sitting pretty atop of the NL West, and they want to sort of slow him down, move to a 6-man rotation before the playoffs start, that's something to consider. Another thing to consider is he went all the way to the World Series last year, so he pitched throughout the whole season. He got hurt, came back, if I'm right, and he had a long season. He had less recovery time, and he's already in spring training right now. It's a guy I'm going to avoid. Noah Syndergaard, a guy I like almost as much as Kershaw. I think he has the ceiling to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's going 30th overall. Problem I have with him is I think it's his lat, but he was injured last year, and it was one of those types of injuries where I don't think you recover from too quickly, or even necessarily make a full recovery. And if you know anything about the Mets medical staff, it seems like they're not too good. So I'm staying away from him. I think that I take his teammate Jacob deGrom before I would take him. He could be dominant. If he does pitch 200 innings, which I don't think is the most likely of scenarios, he'll deliver great value. I bet against it. I think he's probably going to have an off and on year in terms of availability, not talent, but that's why I'm passing on him. Yu Darvish, moving to the Cubs, pretty sexy team, projects to get a lot of wins because it's a team that's probably going to win 90 plus games. Problem I have with him is his ERA seems to keep creeping up. It is a hitter's park. The fact that he's going 49th overall, I think is sort of, based on his attractiveness, he's sort of he's always been a pretty popular pick ever since he came over from Japan to join the Rangers. He's not going to be on any of my teams. A little bit after him, so about 8 spots after him, you look at Chris Archer, 57th overall. He's like my corner infield Justin Turner. I have no idea the hype about this guy. I know he strikes out a lot of guys. His ERA is going to be over 4. He's going to fight to win 10 games, and he's doing this all in a pitcher's park in Tampa Bay. And he gives up a lot of home runs. Good luck playing against the Yankees this year. So, again, 57th overall, no thanks. I'll be reaching for guys I'm going to mention in a little bit and passing on him. Jake Arrieta, big game pitcher. I really like him. I think he's pretty cool. He was fun to watch pitch a few years ago, even not so bad last year. Go on Fangraphs, fangraphs.com. Link's going to be at the bottom of the video here. Check it out. I looked at sort of his drop in velocity over the past couple of seasons. I've been hearing quite a bit about it. Looks like it's real across all of his pitches. Another reason I heard he's not, at day of shoot right now, he still doesn't have a team. Rumor has it one of the reasons is that, there's certain teams out there that don't want to sign him for 4 years, thinking he only has about 2 or 3 left. I see some regression coming next year, and I can't justify the value at 84 of having him on any of my teams. Let's talk about the good guys here. So Shohei Ohtani, lots of talk about him. Most of the talk has actually been around, is he going to hit? Is he going to pitch? How is my fantasy platform going to represent him? Some leagues or some platforms are doing it where he's a pitcher and a hitter. Others it's combined, but you have to put him in either a pitcher or a hitter's role. It all sounds like a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, he's getting paid by the Angels to pitch. Another reason he might have dropped, a little bit, I was surprised at his draft position. His draft position is 108. Another reason is it sounds like the Angels are going with a 6-man rotation. He'll be one of the 6. That projects you to, I think, start about 27 games. But guess what? If you can translate, 80% of the numbers, 90% of the numbers that you had over in Japan, like a lot of these guys do when they come over, then he's definitely got the value of a, let's say, a 2 or 3 starter on your team. He's going 108th overall. So I'm targeting him. I'm going to try to have him on a lot of my teams. Jonathan Gray, I don't blame you for being scared. Coors Light, balls fly out of that park. The thing with him is he's 150th overall. That's his ADP right now. He looked great last year. He pitched about a half a season, but he got a strikeout an inning. He won 10 games. He lost 4. They're going to be a good team this year too. Yeah, I'm worried about the ERA. I'm worried about the whip. But he's one of those guys that he could just, his ceiling is high. I see him as potentially being an ace. And if I can pick him up around 150th overall, I have no problem with that. Put him in the middle to the end of my rotation, with the upside of possibly being my ace or my number 2 starter. I'll take that any day of the week. Zach Godley, he's going 134th overall. Had a quiet year last year. I mean, I think he was 8-9 was his one-loss record on a pretty good team. Again, that was a hitter's park. Check the link below. There's an article about the humidor that they're installing from this physics professor in the University of Illinois. He projects that the home run rate is going to drop by 25 to 50% in the field. That stands, to benefit all of the pitchers as well. So if they actually shift from a hitter's to a pitcher's park, that's pretty huge. 134th overall, not a lot of pressure. He's probably projected to be their 3rd or 4th starter. He'll be on a bunch of my teams as well. Blake Snell, kind of interesting story with this guy. If you looked at his first to second half split, the story is he stopped, his mechanics didn't change at all. The only difference was the fact that he changed his foot position on the rubber, on the mound itself. Well, I looked at his splits, and they're night and day. Not quite night and day, but he looked a lot better in the second half. This guy was one of the top-rated prospects past few years. Hasn't quite shown it yet at the majors, but he's 211th overall. So that's somebody I'm going to be keeping an eye on too. Should have him on a lot of my teams. You can pick him up, put him at the back of your rotation. Doesn't work out, early season drop, pick somebody up on waivers. Dinelson Lamet, this is interesting. I think that's how you say his name. Anyways, I picked him up last year. He, San Diego, man, they're likely going to finish on, I think they're projected to win about 75 games. But this guy, he strikes out a whole bunch of guys. What is it, 11 Ks per 9? I've watched him pitch, and I wasn't at the stadium, but I watched him on TV. He looks great. I mean, if he's on, he's on. Another guy, really high ceiling. He's 232nd overall. Like, these guys, you can pick up the end of your draft and sit on them. They don't have, let's say he's in the rotation. He has 3 bad starts. Let's say you start him once, you bench him for 2, maybe you drop him. Or the guy's your 2nd or 3rd starter for the rest of the season, strikes out 200 guys, has an ERA under 3. Who knows? But again, worth the risk. Last guy I want to mention, I know it was 5, but I'm going to say 6 because I'm a huge Jays fan. Keep an eye on Aaron Sanchez. Last report was his blisters are gone. He had a torn ligament, and I think it was his middle finger of his pitching hand. But all the reports coming out of spring training are saying he looks pretty good. He was dominant a couple of years ago. That's somebody, if I can pick him up with my last pick and just sort of sit on him and see if he's back to normal. If he is, huge value there. So just keep your eye on him, see where his average draft position is, and if he keeps falling and falling, which he's projected to, pick him up. People have quickly forgotten how good he was a couple of years ago. And again, that guy's going to be on more than half my teams as well. So good luck, everybody. Check out the links below. This is where you can reach me on Twitter. This is our website. You can view other videos, read some blogs, and also got all the notes attached to this particular episode as well. Good luck drafting this year. Over and out.